so much, Agustin, Merche, Alex, for the invitation to having it here at Doc. Hello to everyone and also people online. One of them is Jose. Jose is my co-author in several papers. This is, sorry? Is it correct? Yeah. Okay. And the paper that I want to present here, and I'd like to share with you all more or less research questions and some check of our results. And this is a paper related to job types and conservation technologies. And the aim of this paper is to link both types of issues, different types of jobs like green versus non-green and innovation technologies. We define some different forms different ways to adopt this type of technology inside the firms, but this is the main purpose that we want to analyze. As I said before, this paper is a joint paper with Jose from Universitat Barcelona, Pablo del Rio, CSIC, and they are also well colleagues of some of you here. So let's start. And the first,
We need to click the screen. Happen at the same time.
What's that?
doesn't work. I think it doesn't work because if we are sharing this screen with online, no?
Okay, meanwhile, maybe you can use this.
Yes, with the mouse is possible. Okay.
With the mouse is possible. Okay.
I put here, maybe we can use that. This is a work in progress, okay, and of course, please, whatever comment that you have, please, we will be very welcome. Okay, the first thing that I want to notice is that some institutions like OCDE, European Commission, are very worried about how is the green transition, right? And how this green transition affect to the labor market. Because it is very important, and it is very well known, that similar when we talk about innovation, when we move to green innovation technology, some changes in the market labor is happening, right? Because we have some destruction of some employers, and we have another increases or another type of jobs that involves some on new skills, new different skills, more higher skilled workers and whatever. Okay. And as you can see, this is a very recent publication from the European Commission in 2019 that they say, or they claim, that the green transition could be a good engine to transform this environment because they produce a job creation. Okay. If we move to the other type of audience, not more scientific or academic audience, we move to, for example, newspapers or the public. We see several news and in different newspapers and magazines like this one. This is Social Europe, and they underline that the green jobs is the new challenge that many economies have to adopt. And as I said here, the lion's share of job creation potential is connected to sustainable activities, such renewal sectors, housing renovation, repair, reuse, recycle, descent, zero emissions, and weather. Okay. This is one in Spain. We have also news about that, and as I said, for example, in el sí.
Es igual, si ya funcionaba. Sí, lo
In Spain, as we said in El País just last Tuesday, Friday, we saw this news about how Spain faced to the potential creation of new jobs related to the target market by the Green Deal related to the reductions on emissions, right? Okay, this is more or less our issue, and what we want first to define is what we talk about green employees, because there is an extensive and wide debate how is defined this concept, because green jobs could be very different forms to define. And there is a very recent paper from Apostel et al. In 2024 that analyze very different forms to define the green jobs, because it could be related to the sectors which they are working, or could be jobs that are in some firms that they conduct some special actions or activities related to. Then there is a wide debate, and this is the first thing that I want to see here is how we define the green jobs in our paper, because it depends how we define these green jobs, the results will be different, right? Okay, the first thing that I want to say is that green employees is, in our paper, the average numbers of persons which are occupied in environmental protection activities. And I put there the questionnaire, and which is the question that we capture this information. This is when I talk about the data set, I will explain which is the database that we use, because it's an Spanish database from INE. And in that section, we have the B11. This is the average number of employees that are occupied in environmental protection activities. This is the number of the definition of our measure, right? Okay. Some examples about this type of green jobs. The first thing is we adopt this, taking into account that we are adopting this type of definition of green jobs. We can just put some examples in different sectors, attending to different sectors. For example, in renewable energy, the growing demand in obtaining more sustainable energy, like wind or solar, we have the emerging of new jobs related to that, similar to sustainable agriculture, that population and needs who are more devoted to more organic or more bio products, and it involves different types of jobs to do that, right? And in terms of, for example, green buildings, we also see another sector that is very important, because they need skilled workers that take into account the efficiency in the energy, and also the profits, that it is very important related to this special sector, right? Okay. Okay, this is the definition of green jobs. Let's move to the two key policies that we are working. The first one is, as I said, the employment, and the other one is the eco-innovation. In the following slides, I will try to explain what are we taking into account as eco-innovation, because it is very different. Again, depending on the measure that we use, the results could be different, right? Okay. The two key policies is, of course, you know, the employment. There is an important issue for the economy, for the society, because we face many levels of unemployment in different countries, especially in Spain. And the other one is, because I cannot see the title of the both policies, but this is that. And the other policy, on the other issue, is how to take into account how the firms face to this transition, adopting some eco-innovation, right? Okay, I don't know if this is okay. Then, looking at these two big issues, we are devoted to analyze how do eco-innovation types affect to employment, and do they encourage or discourage job creation. This is the main questions that we want to analyze. But again, what is eco-innovation types? What is this eco-innovation? Okay, we take the following approach. This is the adoption of technology, of environmental technologies, divided in two. The first one is those related to cleaner production, and the other one is the end of pipe. The main is, it is important, this difference, because the technology related to cleaner production integrate all technologies that change the production process, right? In order, the objective is important. In order to anticipate pollution, it's a form to prevent, right? And then we need to invest on that in order to prevent, not to create pollution, right? There is many advantages on this. This is directly reduce environmental impact, reduce economic cost, improve corporate image, always best. There are also some disadvantages. For example, the investment in this type of change of the engine of the production process could be very costly, right? And could be not affordable by all firms, right? And may require changes in the production process, right? This is the more hard. If you look both, when I finish the other part, this is the hard part of the transition, right? Because it's the most important to produce this change. The other one is like some mask, right? Because it's another form to say that we are doing eco-innovation, but it is not very costly. Why? Because they are devices added to the production process to avoid the pollution, right? But not is in a form that to have a proactive action to prevent. This is only, we know that, for example, in the automobile sector, we put a catalyst in order to not to have pollution, right? The advantage is less expensive than the cleaner production. Indirectly, they reduce the environmental impact, can be easier to implement, but of course they have the disadvantage from the other, right? Okay, this is our approach to eco-innovation, right? The adoption of these two types of technologies. Some examples about cleaner production technologies, the form that we capture the energy from sun or from wind, it is important, and this is produce a new production process in order to capture it. Okay? And also the battery and whatever is producing. But they are environmental sectors per se. They are, okay? The other one could be more interesting in order to understand what we are saying, that some sectors that are very polluting, right, adopt some technologies. For example, the energy sector, of course, most of you are working on that, but in terms of the automobile sector or the motor sector. In that sense, most of the brands, they are introducing a new production process in where they produce a specific cars with another type of technology that pollute less, right? Okay. More or less, this is the thing that related to cleaner production, related to end-of-pipe technologies. This is a device, for example, the catalytic converter from the emissions in order to pollute less, for example, in the cars. And the other one could be, for example, the form that you can capture the carbon. Okay, the CO2 from combustion flue gas are captured and converted into another type of energy in order to reduce the emissions, right? Everything is clear there? Okay. Then, let's move to the literature, because this is more or less the context that we are working, and now we try to put the theoretical model that we are working. First of all, we move from more broad literature, that is those that relates innovation with employment. And the big picture says that there is a positive correlation between innovation and employment, and especially on broad innovation. There is a lot of literature related to that, but we need this first step of the literature to move to the other literature related to our issue, right? Okay, some papers, not much, some papers have tried to analyze how the regulation related to environmental activities could be related with employment. And some of them, but there is no confirmation of one side. We have that environmental regulation could produce creation of jobs, and the other destruction of jobs, right? This is more or less the background. Then we need to use that as a first step, but the next one is how we relate one of the innovation, that is the innovation, with employment, right? Okay, very few studies have analyzed the job types and innovation, and very recently, from Painelli et al. In 2011, we have found that it is very difficult to understand, to find this type of papers because and obtain non-ambiguous result, because it depends of the kind of innovation that we are taking into account and the type of workers. Then, looking at that, as a summary, we have, I think, 2 tables that summarize all the papers that have worked on it, and we more or less, as a summary, we have that most of them concentrate on European countries, mainly Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands. Very few use panel data, and only Painelli and Aldieri use all sectors. Mainly are just devoted to manufacturing sectors or very specific sector, right? And on those, it is very important in those, in Painelli and Aldieri, that they use, again, the adoption of cleaner technologies in order to understand what is happening in this. Overall, there is some different results, but overall there is a positive results between eco-innovation and employment. The firms that introduced eco-innovation just produce positive effects on the level of employment, right? In general, employment in general, right? Okay. Let's move the final step. That is, we relate eco-innovation with green employment. Okay. Not much literature we found on that. Only some exceptions: Horvath and Rennings, Leaks and Peters and Kainelli, and the results are not confirming. In some cases one, another, and this is our proposal. There is some gap that maybe we can just offer to the audience the results that we find, right? Our contribution is in terms that we use panel data. As I said before, few studies use panel data. Adoption of different technologies that many times only use eco-innovation in general, but we have this information separately, and we have also information about green jobs and total employment. Right? Everything is okay? Okay, this is the gap, our study. We try to analyze if there is a positive impact of eco-innovation on the employment, then we have a job creation, or a negative impact, that is job distraction in terms that we substitute some jobs with another one, and this is not creation, not produce increases in the level of employment, right? One is called compensation, the other is substitution, right? The idea that is behind in terms of a positive impact is when the creation of jobs and developing skills are linked to the complementarity between technology and human capital that is well studied by other authors. And in the other coin, or the other side of the coin, is the job distraction, in the sense that eco-innovation could destroy because they substitute capital, is the substitution of capital for those jobs that are more automatization and whatever, right? Okay. This is more or less our picture, and on the following slides I just explain the hypothesis development, right? That is, this is the main, the summary of what I have said. The first one is firm adopt eco-innovation in different types, cleaner production or end of time, and maybe they produce job creation, or they produce job distraction, and in both we can see increases in sales or increases in productivity, depending on which is the point that they are center away first, right? Okay. How this job creation works? If you introduce one of these two environmental technologies, we need additional staff for installation. We need some specific people in the operation maintenance of these environmental technologies, and the involvement of this eco-innovation improve energy efficiency and material savings that this produce or leads to increases in efficiency, reducing cost of materials, and increases in competitiveness, right? The other mechanism related to the job distraction relates to the investment in innovation, entail some crowding out other firms' investments, and higher labor productivity means less job for the same output associated to new process innovation. This produce it produce distraction in employment, but create higher productivity and higher production efficiency. This is more or less the model, right? And this we are expecting, saying this before, having this in mind, we expect that the net effect will be that the investment in environmental technology will produce creation of jobs, right? This is the first. But as I said before, we have the availability of to separate these types of technologies. We don't have only one. We have two types of technology, cleaner production and end of pipe. Then, why not to try to see whether there is differences in the application of this or the adoption of these two technologies produce different effects on the job creation, right? Or the job destruction. And for example, in terms of end of pipe, entails new equipment that increase the production cost without improvements in efficiency or productivity, but also may substitute the automatic jobs or more physical work or whatever. Right? Okay, and the cleaner production entails investment inside the production process that it leads to improvements in efficiency and competitiveness. We hypothesize that maybe cleaner production could be leads to higher effect on the job destruction than job creation than end-of-pipe technologies. Right? And we also try to understand what happens on green technology and green employment. Since we have this information, okay, then why not to see whether there is two types of technology produce more or less green jobs? And this is the third one. We expect that a greater green job creation can be expected when firms adopt cleaner production, since they entail, as I said before, a more involvement and proactiveness in the environmental transition. Right? Okay, some previous papers that helps us to more focus on this idea. The first one is Bona et al. That compares green jobs versus brown jobs. And they found that low-skilled workers were employed in more pollutant-intensive industries. It provokes that those industries are more concerned that they are producing more pollution. Okay? The other ones, Cesera and Massanti, and for Elliot, confirms the creation of green jobs when companies incorporate green innovation. That is the same idea that we want to analyze. Right? Okay. Time? Okay, let's move. This is the theoretical point, and now we move to the data section. The data section is the following. We use a survey from INE, that is a survey on industry expenditure on environmental protection. This is as they call, and it follows the Eurostat guidelines. Then this means that you can use this information also from other countries, because it is also from Eurostat. It may be in other countries you have this information. We don't know if it is available for foreigners as us, but maybe we can just to see if it could be an interesting point, just compare between two countries or whatever. Okay, this survey is firm level data across 30 manufacturing sectors in all regions of Spain. But it is very important to understand the structure of this database. We don't have all the database, we only have some variables, and they are anonymized and stratified and whatever, in order to preserve the secrets, the terms of confidentiality, right? And this is the point. This thing that I said before is the point that the selection of establishing using 3 variables in order not to pick up which is the sector or the firm that are doing in that sector. The first one is they use 2-digit NACE 2009. The size of employees is separated in 5 intervals from 10 to more than 200 employees, and they collapse the regions in 2. I don't know why, but this is what they do. Regions 1 is Castilla y León, Cataluña, Comunidad Valenciana, Galicia, Comunidad de Madrid y País Vasco, and the rest is 2. We don't know why, but this could be some problems in terms of to infer some conclusions on that. The period that we have is 2008-2020, but in 2009 we have some problems with some variables related to policy measures like tax credits, environmental tax, and in these specific variables we delete this year in order to understand much better. We just reduce the sample. We have an unbalanced panel with approximately 7,500 companies along the period, right? Okay, some information of this data comparing from the Eurostat, comparing all the countries. Here is Spain, right? Not very well situated in terms of environmental protection comparing to other countries. And as you see here, we have very interesting information here, because here we have Romania, Belgium, and Poland. They are so very well positioned on that, but we are not comparing that. That's just having a picture of this information that is available in Eurostat. But when we move to our sample, we try to describe what is our variables. For example, green employee, and here we have the share of green employees in our period of time. And the first thing that we see is what happens with green employees in 2015, because we are in a trend very similar from 2008 to 2014, but in 2015 we moved, and in this movement they stay again in another equilibrium. We don't know why. We think about that because this could be affecting our results, because this is our dependent variable, right? And we try to analyze many things, and we just see could be macro shocks that we do not understand. One thing could be that from 2014 the crisis more or less stopped. The crisis from 2008 stopped more or less in 2014, and this is could be one explanation. The other one could be related if there is some special regulation that affect to green employees. And both are in the right hand side of this slide, and you see, for example, that the GDP per capita in between 2010 and 2020, this is more or less the point that we see a decrease in the GDP. This is not a correct explanation. About environmental policy stringency, looking at this information from the OECD, especially in Spain, we see that from 2014 here, from 2014 here, we have downs. Down in the trend, maybe could be related to that. We have, this is one concern that we are now trying to understand if could be related to this type of things in terms of the stringency of policy. Yes.
Couldn't be that
please.
the,
Sorry?
couldn't be that the survey changed the question or...
Yes, we have seen that, but there is no change on that in the questionnaire. We don't know. We don't know with what is happening, but we have to take into account because we have different points, right? Okay. What about our main key variable or main explanatory variable is related to the adoption of environmental technologies. And here you have two figures. The first one is the average of green employees when firms invest in cleaner production or invest in end of pipe. And you see that of course, the crisis is very well explained here because you have a down a descent from 2008 in terms of average of clean employees. But till 2014, the cleaner production is greater than the end of pipe. And in 3 years, 2015, 2017, is the reverse. The end of pipe is higher than cleaner production. I don't know if you see that, right? Okay. And after that, in 2018, the trend before that continues in the same trend, right? And similar is related to the average of investment in both technologies. This is the information, and only for firms that have green employees. Okay, this is more or less our some features of our data, right? Okay, then let's move to the empirical model. And as I said before, we have one. This is a typical employment model, right? That we have the employment in the left-hand side and explained by the predetermined employment or the previous employment, and two different environmental technologies: cleaner pipe, cleaner production and end of pipe, and some controls. Right? This is the controls that we have available. We have information of green wages, training programs, industry, and time tax. When we first this paper, we try to see what we want to analyze. The first thing that we want to think is maybe we can compare green employees versus total employment. But we detect that we don't have total wages. We have only green wages. This is an important caveat because we only estimate the total employment using the green wages. That is not very well obtained. This is the thing that we are aware of that, right? And this is more or less the main variables that we use: green employees, the size, the cleaner production, European end of pipe, green wages, training, and time and sectoral dams. This is more or less information on levels, and we take, let me put here, all the variables that we have here are in logs. Smooth a little bit the estimation. Okay, let's see. The estimation strategy. We have one important problem because we have the past employment or the past green employment in our equation. Then we need to understand what potential problems related to endogeneity of this lagged dependent variable, and maybe could be also endogeneity provoked by the reverse causality of environmental technologies. Right? Why? Because the need to employ different job types could be due to the adoption of environmental technologies, right? Then, how we control for that? We propose to use the Woolrich 2005 model or estimation proposal, in where we cluster at film level and we introduce in our estimation, panel estimation, variables dated at initial value at the initial year, and average mean of explanatory variables and interactions of those explanatory variables. This is a form to correct the endogeneity problem of endogenous variable, right? But in order to see whether we have robust results, we try to use different estimation process, like random balance, considering only those films that are having only green employees, or using the more sophisticated model that is the GMM, the system GMM, in where we estimate the differences and also the level equation. Okay? This is why it's called system GMM. Right? Are you familiarized with Woolrich or GMM system GMM? Okay. Main results related to Woolrich. In the first column you have the estimation of green workers, and in the second column you have the total employees. As I said before, the second column is we have a drop back because the wages that we have is only green wages, but I use this to approximate a little bit the wages. This is not. This is what we have. We don't have another possibility to at this moment, right? This is the model that I present. And as you see, we have in both, we have the initial value, the starting value of dependent variable, green and size, and the lagged one, that is the lagged in green and the lagged size. As you see, in both, these two types of variables are significant, but with a coefficient very different. For example, if you see the coefficient of size of the total employment, we have that the past is very important, right? But when we see the green, we have the coefficient very small, right? It is only 1% of creation of green. What is telling us? Maybe they are telling that the hiring of green employees could be depending on the situation of the firm. Today I hire one, the next year I fire one, and this could be the information that we have in that. Okay, this is first the problem related to the past. Related to the adoption of environmental technologies, as you see, no creation on total employees, the introduction of new of environmental technology, but only cleaner production technologies increase the green jobs. This is what we have. Controls are there, and more or less this is what we found. So we need to see whether this results are robust or not. And this is the next slide, in where we present different models. As you see that in that case, the initial value of green or size is not present because it is another type of estimation. But we have the past. Okay, and this is only for green, okay, only for green. And you see that in random and balance we get similar results to before, and for cleaner production, again, similar results. When we take into account this more sophisticated GMM system, we see that the cleaner production, well, there is two columns. The first one that we instrument the lagged variable, the lagged dependent variable, and in the second column we instrument both lagged variable, dependent variable, and also the cleaner production, in terms of to take into account whether the technology could be the reverse causality as I mentioned before, right? And as you see, there is a little change in the coefficient, but there is a positive effect on the creation of green jobs. But you see that the lagged variable, dependent variable, there is no significant coefficient. Maybe this is what we suspect, and I said before, maybe the past is not important in this type of equation related to green employees. We don't know, but this is what we have. Maybe this is what we are saying. We need to work on that, but maybe we are more or less trust on that. Okay, as if you remember, I put here in the estimation strategy, and I also relates to potential problems of endogeneity, and the results that I present is related to that. Okay, but since we have another types of variables that could be interesting to introduce in our estimation, we just question to us wonder potential drivers of green jobs, and this is what I present here. Sorry. The first one is, since we have two different end-of-pipe technologies, one is related to air emissions, the other one is cleaner production. Cleaner production for air emissions, cleaner production for energy efficiency, and we have also information about end-of-pipe of air emissions. Then we introduce these different subsections of technologies to see whether our results more or less confirm the previous one. Other things, policy measures like environmental, tax credit, and subsidies. Also, information we have about the training in green training. We have this information, and the other one could be how this type of firms invest in consultancy related to this type of environmental activities outside. Okay, this is we call absolute capacity. And the last one is if there is any difference between pollutants and non-pollutant sectors. As in other papers, we see this differentiation could be very important, right? And well, this is only in order not to extend more. This is the main results. In the first one, the first column, we include the a moderator effect, which is the interaction between cleaner production, end of pipe, and training, right? This is the in purple, right? And you see nothing, no effect. Okay, or very small effect. When we move to the second column, we have introduce the policy measures like environmental tax, subsidy. We drop finally the tax credit because the tax credit from 2005, tax rate specific environmental tax credit was cancelled out in 2015. Then it is not good to introduce that. And again, no effect on green jobs, but in the following columns we found different and interesting results. The first one, when we separate the, as I said before, the environmental technologies in environmental end of pipe air emissions, cleaner production air emissions, and cleaner production efficiency and energy efficiency, we see that we found a very important driver That is when firms concentrate the investment in the cleaner production on energy efficiency. In terms of absorbed capacity, we also see that it is produce positive effect on employment, and related to polluting versus non-polluting sectors, again, we see that cleaner production, in those cleaner production and network pipe, both of them are important for the creation of green jobs. Right? Okay, that's all. Our contributions is to investigate the impact of adoption of eco-innovation technology on the creation of job types, to assess the different impact of different technologies on green jobs, and the last one is it's important that we can measure the green technologies or the environmental technologies in terms of investment. That is very important to this information, because we have the amount that firms dedicate to that, and this is not very well found in the literature. I think this is a very good point on the paper. Main conclusions: investment in environmental technology do not lead positive employment effects overall in total, but we see that the investment in cleaner technology have a positive effect on clean jobs, but end of pipe, no. A positive effect of training. Also, we see that cleaner production technology for energy efficiency are the only environmental technology that produce increases in green jobs. The absorbed capacity has a significant and positive effect, and the investments in both end-of-pipe and cleaner production technologies have a positive impact in industries that are more polluting. Right? That's similar to, I remember, I don't know, it's Buona or Sele, whatever, which one. Okay. Okay, policy implications from that. Job creation represents an additional reason to support investment in cleaner production technology. Then, this is very important, because what we are saying is that firms, you need to move a more proactive green transition, because in order to introduce on that. In most polluting sectors, since the image of those sectors are important, they invest more in end-of-pipe and cleaner technology, and then have positive impacts on green jobs. And we think that support for training and absorbed capacity could help firms to create and to move to this green transition, increasing green jobs. That's all. Okay, limitation of the research. And thank you so much for your attention and the invitation, and the floor is yours if you need some clarification or whatever you want to know. Please.
Yes.
I have a potential contribution to the context and literature. With Agustín Merche, we are working in a paper in the relationship between digital technology and innovation, which is not the same, but the rationality is very similar.
Yes.
There, I mean, in the classical theory, even if the relationship between jobs and digital technologies is complementary substitutive, technology becomes labor replacing.
Yes.
But if you treat production functions as not a constant variable, and if the constant elasticity of substitution is negative, we interpret this as these efficiency gains maybe are labor replacing for lower skilled workers, but then it allows to expand the production functions, including more complex tasks such as innovation, which is our aim. But this
is
in
similar.
your case, yeah,
yes,
it's very similar.
Very similar. Yes, the framework is very similar, because if you see environmental innovation and digital is both innovation, then they just came from the same background, literature or whatever, and the expected sign that we are just trying to analyze is very similar. I have supervised one thesis just finished on December that relates digital transformation. Jose was in the tribunal, and the theory is very similar. The mechanism that works in both digital and the environmental, because both are innovation.
And your findings are in that line. I mean, you don't have a significant effect on the traditional job market, but you have a significant association on positive with
yes.
suggesting this replacement of the tasks.
Is yes. We like to enlarge a little bit more this comparison with the traditional employment, but we don't have. This is a problem, but we don't have wages. We are thinking how can we capture the wages. Of course, we can just capture using a sectoral wages, but sectoral wages is a fixed effect, and we drop all the rest when we estimate. But we need to take the information or to produce wages related to firm, not related to sector, in order to capture and make the comparison between employment and green employment. But this is the conclusion that we finally arrive, that we move more to analyze the green job mechanism, not the comparison between green job and total employment, because we don't capture very well the equation of employment, total employment.
I suppose you have already checked, but it is possible that this change is changing in 1214 is due to changes in the fiscality of the farms, because it has been changing in the reduction for electrical production, for the productive sectors that use electrical energy in order to...
We have one co-author that have used this type of the same database, have used the policy measures in order to see another type of things. And that is Kinga, you know, maybe Kinga, and she has revised all the legislation and all the policy of fiscal legislation. And there is no important thing. The only thing could be that in 2015 the tax credit was cancelled. Tax credit was cancelled. This could be one element. I don't know if this change could be.
I have checked now the changes in the year, and there is one involved the cost of the tax about the use of energy for enterprises that use
maybe this is one thing that we want to explore on that, because we are so surprised about this change, because we don't know what is happening. We are the next step that we want to analyze is separating the period. If we find the similar results before this change, because it could be as a different definitive method in order to see whether this change could be different results. But if you see the trend is the same before and after. The only thing that is a jump. That's the only thing. But we are trying to explore all these things. Thank you.
¿Cuestiones? Sí.
Yes, thank you very much. I have two different questions. The first one is, in one of the slides, you define job creation as a compensation.
Yes.
For me, job creation could be also a positive generation of employment, not only a compensation between the destruction and also...
Yeah.
So why...
well, it's a form to call that, but maybe it could be, it's not very well capture this term for that. I agree with you.
That was one concern. And the second one, it is at empirical level.
Yeah.
Why don't you use, instead of the level of employment, the difference, the growth? Because
Yes,
in this sense,
yeah.
you are capturing in reality the change.
Yeah, yeah. The first set of results was using growth. But the use of growth has several negative points. The first one is that you have many zeros. And traditional, we move to the traditional form, the traditional way to estimate an equation, a labor market equation, that is the employment in level. Because if not, you are just having, of course, you can move from 0 to 1 or from negative to positive, but we have many problems in order to capture that. This is the reason that we move to the traditional equation, the labor equation. This is the only, but we have the same thing with growth, because this is, of course, if we said creation, we need to know whether we have this. That's true. This is because when I present this in Turin, the first set of results was using growth, and the first part was similar, right? And it serves the same that for this estimation, but this is the first thing that we want to analyze.
So, it is very stupid. This time now. Could be that a part, I don't know if everything, but a part of the green employment is not created within the firm, but outsourced. So.
As a spillover effect.
No, but you don't contract it. So you want a green worker, but you don't hire yourself a green worker, but you pay another company like to ask this job. So it probably does not appear in your accountability like but just a cost, no, right? Because you have outsourced this service.
But the information that we have about the external expenditure.
You have external expenditure.
Yes. One of them is related to absorbing capacity. That is for consultancy. And we have also a lot of items related to external expenditure, but nothing is related to what you are saying. But it's not in the survey. They don't ask that.
I mean, I want to install panels in my firm.
Yeah.
So I don't hire a person to control this panel. Just outsource this service to a person that put me the panels and take care of the panels.
Of course. Could be just outsource.
So the effect could be higher if you account for the cost.
Maybe I will try to see what we have in this information, and maybe we can just approximate what you are saying with one variable. If we have, for example, external expenditure on some type of this. And I can't remember which is the information that we have. I can't remember that. But maybe I will take into study, take a note on that.
Thank you.
Any more questions? So, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.